Here's a smoothie recipe that's delicious and healthy and comes together really fast for those mornings where you just need to get out the door. At the end, I'll share some tips and tricks to make this recipe work for you every single day. The ingredients you're going to use are a liquid, greens, fruit, and proteins. The first thing you're going to do is measure out 1 cup of liquids right into the blender. The second step is to add some greens right on top of that. I usually use spinach. This week we just have kale. Put that right in the blender. The next thing you're gonna add is about a 1/2 cup to 1 cup of frozen berries or frozen fruit. Just dump it in. Next, you're gonna want a banana. This does not have to be a frozen banana. And the last thing is protein. So you can choose whatever type of protein you want. This is a vanilla protein. Scoop of that on top. Next, just pour it into your cup, stick a straw in, and you're ready to go. It tastes like a milkshake to me, and I feel like with the greens and the fruit and the protein, some of those healthy things I'm trying to get every morning anyway. Here's some tips to consider. Here's my cleanup tip. Take your blender and you turn on the sink really, really hot. And we have a spray nozzle, so I just rinse it out with really hot water and make sure all the gunk is gone, and then I just put it in the sink to drip dry. Maybe once a week I'll throw it through the dishwasher, but if you clean it right away after you use it, you can use it a few different times without using soap. Maybe that's bad, but that's what we do. For liquid, you could use water or regular milk. I just prefer almond milk. This is unsweetened vanilla almond milk. It only has 30 calories per cup, and I'll put the nutrition information in the description as well for the whole smoothie. And it has a lot of calcium in it, and I just think it adds a little bit of flavor, and it's delicious. We buy almond milk all the time. For the greens, I usually buy the prepackaged bags of spinach, which are already washed, and you can just grab a handful and just dump it into the blender. They didn't have spinach at the grocery store this week, which was really odd. But anyway, so I just got some fresh kale and I washed it myself and dried it and stuck it in a bag. So I've been using that. Also for the greens, I find that the spinach, you can add a ton to the blender. You can literally fill the blender to the top and you don't taste the spinach at all. With the kale, I find that you do get a little bit of that kale taste, so I don't put as much in. And also, if you really want it to blend up really nice and smooth with the kale, when you put your liquid and your greens in together, just blend that for a minute or so, and it'll just make it all smooth so you don't get little chunks of kale, because you don't want to be eating the kale. For the fruit part of it, we always just get these bags of frozen fruit because you can just dump it into the blender and you don't have to chop and wash anything. It's just already there for you. And for the fruit, I've used everything from strawberry bananas to strawberries to the tropical smoothie kinds or whatever, but I just usually look for what's the cheapest. And lately it's been these cherries and berries blend. I think this is from Target, but you can just kind of get it anywhere. Always add a banana just because it makes it nice and frothy. You can freeze the bananas, but if you're using the frozen fruit, I find that you don't have to freeze the bananas. You can just use a fresh banana and it just makes it nice and smooth. So good. For protein powder, my husband buys protein powder, so I'm not even sure what it is. We just get vanilla and I like the vanilla. I think it's BiPro, but apparently that's going out of business or something, so you can use any protein powder you want. I also have been letting in these collagen peptides because I'm trying not to age, or you can put chia seeds or some oats or whatever else you want to add to make it a little bit personal towards your preferences. With the basics of what I showed you, makes a delicious smoothie, almost like a milkshake. If I'm going somewhere in the car, I like to use these big, this happens to be a Yeti, but you can use any knockoff, and they're easy to clean. You don't have a lid with threads and all that stuff. So I just like this, keeps it nice and cold for the car. I either use a stainless steel straw like this, or sometimes if I'm lazy, I just use a plastic one. I hope you give this recipe a try and let me know in the comments what you add to your smoothies or how we can make this even better. So please consider subscribing and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.